Today we're going to learn about SQ3R, which is a reading strategy designed to promote active reading. SQ3R promotes active reading. You need to know the difference between active and passive readers. Passive readers sit down and decode what they are reading. You say, what does decode mean? D-O-G. What does D-O-G spell? We all know it spells dog. How do you know it spells dog? Because at some point you learn the alphabet, you learn sounds associated with each letter of the alphabet, and then you learn how to blend those sounds to form words. And that's what decoding is. Passive readers most often sit down and decode what they are reading. Okay? And when they have completed or when they are done decoding their reading assignment, they usually don't understand or remember what they have read. That is because to get the full experience out of your reading, you need to be an active reader. Active readers do more than just decode. They take part in their reading. They use strategies and techniques to help them understand and retain what they have read. SQ3R is a reading strategy designed to promote active reading. What is SQ3R? Like I said, SQ3R is a reading strategy that helps students remember and understand what they have read. SQ3R stands for survey, question, read, recite, and review. You need to know that. SQ3R is done in 3 steps, and in those 3 steps, you will be able to implement some portion of SQ3R. So it's done before reading, in which you will implement the survey and question portion of SQ3R. It's done during reading, in which you will implement the reading and recite portion of SQ3R. And it's done after reading, in which the review is implemented from SQ3R. Remember, SQ3R, the S stands for survey, the Q stands for question, and the 3 R's stand for read, recite, and review. SQ3R is broken down into 3 steps: before, during, and after reading, and each step has its own thinking activities. Okay, before reading, we survey and question from SQ3R. Survey means to preview what you're going to read in order to get an overview of that text. When you survey, you look at 5 things. You will look at the title of the article, essay, or chapter that you're reading. You will look to see if there are any headings or subheadings. You will look at the first sentence of each paragraph of what you have been assigned to read. Look at any bold or italicized words, and look at any visual aids and or pictures. The ideal of surveying is to get an overview or to get a synopsis of what you are about to read. Okay, what topic am I about to read about? Okay, we're going to look at this essay and implement the survey part from SQ3R. Remember, when you survey, you look at the title, any headings or subheadings, bold and italicized words, any visual aids or pictures, and the first sentence of each paragraph. Now, no matter what you survey, whether or not it's a paragraph, it's an essay, it's an article, it's a chapter, you always have the first sentence of each paragraph. Depending upon how many first sentences you read, depends upon the length of the item that you are surveying. Okay? And remember, to survey, or the purpose of surveying, is getting an overview of what you are about to read. You're not reading the assignment yet. You're surveying in order to get an overview of what you are about to read. Remember when I said that reading is hard work? It's a 2-part process. This is the first part of what you're doing. The art of winemaking is your title. So this particular reading does have a title. Then, of course, this picture is a visual aid. This particular article or essay has it has headings: introduction, making wine, and wrap up. Headings are set aside from the rest of the essay or the rest of the article. They can be in bold. Sometimes they are not indented while the rest of the paragraph is indented. They can be in the center of the page, or they may be in a different color. Okay. Next, we're going to read the first sentence of each paragraph. My family and I have been producing various types of wines for over 9 years, making it one of our longest standing traditions. The fruit most commonly used for wine and my father's personal favorite is the grape. The yeast involved in the winemaking process is just as important as the type and quality of the grape. Timing is the key to the entire process of winemaking. Of course, there are any number of variables that would affect how the wine will turn out, or even if it will make it to bottling without getting spoiled. And then this particular essay also has italicized words. Complex. This is just to name a few, or to look at a few. So this particular essay had all of the survey items, all 5 items. And the purpose is to get an overview of what you're about to read. And so based on what you have read, you know that this essay is about winemaking. You know it would discuss maybe steps in the winemaking process, such as select the grape. And you got that from the first sentence of the paragraph. You know, yeast is an important part of the winemaking process. Timing is the key. Okay, and so you have just got an overview about what this essay is about. It is about winemaking, the art of winemaking. Let's look at another essay, and we're going to look to see what items from the survey portion apply to this essay. We're going to look for the title, any visual aids, any headings or subheadings. We're going to look at the first sentence of each paragraph and look to see if there are any bold or italicized words. This particular essay has a title, The Effects of Unemployment. You see it has a visual aid, which is a line graph. As you look or survey this essay, there are no headings. However, let's look at the first sentence of each paragraph. There's a direct link between a nation's unemployment rate and the strength of the economy. Being without work can be a grueling experience. High rates of unemployment and low confidence in the job market also have an impact on the nation's economy. To stop the downward spiral of the economy at these times, the government often steps in. Okay, let's look for any bold or italicized words that are within the reading of the text. You have workforce and portion. So this essay has a title, a visual aid, the first sentence of each paragraph, and bold words. There are no headings in this particular essay. Okay, and so now that you have surveyed the essay, you have an overview of what it is about. Okay, and based on our survey, we know that this essay is about unemployment or not working and the economy. When you are done surveying, you create questions based upon the information that you gathered while surveying. To aid in comprehension, ask questions about the materials before you read it. Answering questions while reading will help in monitoring your understanding of what you have just read. Okay, so during the question part, you create questions based on the information that you gathered while surveying. This means that you turn your title into a question, you turn any headings or subheadings into questions, you turn bold or italicized words into questions, and you turn the first sentence of each paragraph into a question. Okay, when we create questions, we use the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, why, and the H, how. The next thing we're going to do is turn the items that we have surveyed into questions. Remember, there are 5 items that you surveyed. You survey the title, any headings or subheadings, any bold or italicized words, any visual aids, and the first sentence of each paragraph. So when you turn the title into a question, and when turning these items into a question, we're going to use the 5 W's and H: who, what, when, where, why, and how. Who, where, and when are more specific. Who deals with people, where deals with a location, and when deals with a time period. So how and why are more general, but the art of wine making, and so how, why, and what are more general. Excuse me. The art of wine making. So you can turn that into a question by saying, what is the art of wine making? Okay. Looking at the first sentence of each paragraph, you can turn the first sentence of each paragraph into a question by saying, how long has the family been producing various types of wines? Now, these questions that you are creating, these are not going to be turned into the teacher. These are questions that are designed to help keep you focused and mentally active while reading, to also help you retain what you have read. You can turn this heading into a question. How do you make wine? Or what goes into the making of wine? Look at this first sentence. You turn the first sentence into questions. What fruit is most commonly used for wine making? Look at the bold or italicized words. What does complex mean, or define complex? And so remember, when you are creating questions to help guide your reading, you are creating questions from the items that you have surveyed. You're going to turn the title into a question, any headings or subheadings into a question, any bold or italicized words that you don't know, define those, turn those into a question, and turn the first sentence of each paragraph into a question. As you are reading and answering these questions, the purpose is for you to stay focused and mentally active, and to help you understand what you have read. Okay, the next step is during reading. During reading, we read and recite from SQ3R. It's time to begin reading. It's very important to write while you read. This is the reciting portion. Writing while reading is reciting. So we read and recite at the same time. The purpose of reciting is to get your brain mentally active and working. While reading, you can stay focused and recite by paraphrasing each paragraph of your reading assignment in the text. Answer the questions you created during the survey and question portion, and highlight and underline important information as you read. The last step is after reading. So after you are done reading, you review from SQ3R. Okay? And you review by looking at any notes that you created or took. Look at the information you highlighted and underlined, and look at the questions and answers that you created. Reviewing will tell you what content you understand and what needs to be reread.